So one of the issues here about the students and the residents is going to be a much higher level of supervision for their patients than most of us were used to. The average age of the medical staff here is about 55, which means that their training experience antedates a lot of the changes in medical education that we're on right now. For instance, there are requirements about how many, or limits on how many hours a resident can work now. And it's 80 hours a week, which those of us that trained years ago thinks kind of, oh, that would have been nice. The medical students spend 2 years doing their core curriculum, which is over the medical school. That doesn't mean they won't come here occasionally, and see patients for learning how to do physical examinations and interviewing skills. But when they go into their third year and they start doing what we call clinical clerkships, then most of that teaching gets done by residents. So we probably will not be able to have a residency program fully going in 2 years when the students start doing that. So we'll have situations where they can be attached to one of the staff physicians, or most likely attached to the hospitalist program or the ER, places like that. But we think that probably the residency program is going to take 3 or 4 years to develop properly. The payment for residents comes from Medicare, and they have this kind of funny system for doing that. When a new medical school or a new residency program begins, they have 3 years to establish how many residents they're going to have. At the end of 3 years, if you have 30 resident slots, that's what Medicare will pay you for, and that's all they'll pay you for, at least based on the current rules. So that if you want to add more later, you can do it, but they won't get paid for by Medicare. One of the stimulus for having not so much the medical school but the graduate medical education has to do with the shortage of physicians in Georgia. And I've seen different numbers, but maybe 10,000 doctors too few over the next 10 years or something. And the information that we're told is that if you want doctors to stay in your community, the best way to do that is to train them in your community, so that 50% or so of residents end up going into practice in close proximity to where they trained. So medical school is good, a necessary institution, but it doesn't guarantee that you're going to have more doctors in Georgia. The residency program predictably would increase the number of doctors that actually stay in Georgia.